What's up, Agents Rock? I'm here with my esteemed co-host. I think esteemed is too generous. I'm here with my co-host, Melissa Gonzalez. How was your Memorial Day weekend?
Good, great.
Yeah, what did you do?
I went down the shore.
Yeah?
I didn't get into a jet ski accident. Because Mike got into a jet ski accident this weekend.
Yes, I did. I hit a sand dune.
They thought he was doing a trick, but he wasn't.
That's true. My friend did think I was doing a trick. But, okay, that's
Down
good.
the
Somebody
shore.
invited you over to their
Yeah,
house?
Mike. Oh, my God. It was a beautiful weekend. It was a little cold, but at least it didn't rain.
Yeah. No, seriously, you have friends? They actually invite you over?
Oh, my God. Yeah, I
All
have
right,
real
let's-
friends.
Let's
real
talk
friends.
real estate. Let's talk real estate. We haven't been on here for quite some time. Today's topic is pretty interesting, and it's probably one of the most important topics, I think, for a real estate agent outside of their real estate agent business. Should real estate agents invest in real estate?
Yes.
Yeah, that goes without saying. Yes, of course. But not everybody wants to invest in real estate, right? Not every agent wants to invest in real estate. But here's the beauty about investing. You can wear many hats. You don't have to purchase properties if you don't want to. You know, some people have this stigma that, you know, being a landlord is not good, that there's going to be problems and there's going to be headaches, although there's huge tax benefits owning multifamily properties, such as what, Mel?
You can claim the depreciation on your taxes.
Good job.
What do you...
So real estate depreciation. What else?
Write off your taxes, operating expenses.
Well, so real estate depreciation, real estate tax deductions, cost segregation, which that's one of the best ones, and probably one of the most tax advantageous ones, right? Well, because you can offset your actual earned income with cost segregation. So,
Yeah.
And obviously cash flow, right? Those are the four main benefits of owning multifamily properties.
Did you just ask me that to quiz me like you think I didn't know?
No, I just wanted to know how much you knew.
I mean, Mike, stop
A
thinking.
lot of people don't know. It's okay if
I
you
know
didn't
more than you think I know.
I know you do. Anyway,
Because I don't say it.
but look, there's a lot of advantages of owning multifamily properties and investment properties, right? It doesn't have to be just multifamily. There are people that own properties, let's say down the shore, in which they rent them out, right? VRBO, Airbnb, on their own at times. So there are a lot of advantages. But if you didn't want to invest in multifamily properties or in an investment property, there are other things that I believe real estate agents can do. For example, lending money out. I think that's great, especially in today's market where we've seen a lot of appreciation year after year. So in my opinion, I think that if you're lending money out at a pretty reasonable loan to value, say 60, 70 loan to value, I think that your investment is pretty secure in the sense that, say the homeowner stops paying you, right? By the time you actually get to foreclose on them, you're going to at least have an asset that has equity in it.
Yeah.
Where if you're lending at a higher loan to value, that could be somewhat problematic in the event that you run into an obstacle where the homeowner stops paying you. What other?
You can flip.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yep.
Right.
The
I'm a big
only
flipper.
thing is it's hard. You are a flipper. You're a flipper. No, you can flip properties. I feel like those are actually hard to come by right now, but at one point.
I don't think they are.
I think they are.
No, they're not.
I think they are.
If you're searching, they're not.
Okay.
See,
Yeah.
that's the
if
misconception.
If you're actively searching, yes, and I think that a lot of us don't actively search. So
So
I would love.
recant your statement.
I do. Okay, take it back. I would love. I take it
Say
back.
you were wrong.
I'm wrong. He loves to say. He loves me to say. He loves when I say I'm wrong. No,
often.
I would love. Well, here's the thing. So
No, finish your statement. I would love.
I would love to flip a property, and I've come across a couple deals here and there that I didn't pull the trigger on. Once I started, because I was scared. I'm a baby. I get nervous, and I thought about it too long, and I didn't do it. And
What's the terminology? Analysis paralysis?
Yes, analysis paralysis for sure. And my husband's gotten mad at me twice because we actually had two very good deals come across.
Was it
my
one
lap.
that I purchased?
No.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
No.
It was one
But
that
there
I
was-
should have purchased.
There was two that really came across
Yeah.
my lap, and I was just like, no, because I was too
So
nervous.
So what could you have done if you were nervous and there was a deal that you thought was a potential good flip? What should you have done?
probably linked up with somebody who has done flips and would have helped me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think you should let go of an opportunity like that, especially in a market where there may not
know.
be a lot of opportunities. But
And
why fix
and-
and flip, by the way?
Why fix and flip?
Yeah, like let's talk about some of the
It's
advantages.
an easy way to get in and out. When are you going to make that much money in such a short period of time?
Correct.
But it's also not always guaranteed. For example, if the market crashed, right? And now, the market is so volatile, you don't know.
Yeah, well, the market's not
Right?
going to crash overnight.
It's not going to crash
So,
overnight.
so
but
how
yeah.
do you hedge? How do you hedge against
But
that?
that was why I was nervous. Well, so I was nervous for two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't so much about getting the money or anything like that. It was, okay, but what's going to happen if I think I'm going to get 500,000 and I only end up getting 450 for the house? Is it still worth it? Right? I start over analyzing. Okay.
Gotcha.
So market conditions, right? And you have to, I think, add maybe a 10%
I do that all the time.
margin of
Contingency.
error,
Yeah,
right?
It's a 10% contingency.
Yeah, because you just never know. And then the other thing is, okay.
And by the way, the reason why you do a 10% contingency is you never know if you encounter other issues that
that's
you
what I
didn't
was just gonna
factor
say.
in, like
Right.
termite damage,
Yes.
structural issues.
Correct.
Right?
And that was the other thing. Okay, so, I'd seen the properties. I'm like, all right, so based off of what I can see, it's going to be $50,000 to repair, right? But I wasn't sure, right? I don't know. What if it came in at 60? And then what if then I found
Well, if it
a
went
big
up,
problem?
if your cost went up 10,000 and that was make it or break it, then it wasn't a good deal right
No,
from
I
the
know.
start.
But no, I'm thinking okay, what if it's hot more than I thought, and then I run into other issues that I didn't budget for, right? Like you said. And then what if the market comes down, right? So I just didn't do it, and I really regret it because I had two really good opportunities that I could have done and made money on.
Yeah.
But I didn't because I was too scared to pull the trigger.
So my rule of thumb is when you're looking at a flip property, right, or a potential flip, is you need to make no less than 15%. Right. So
15% of the purchase price.
correct. And no, acquisition and reno. So for example, I'll give you an example. Say you purchased a property for $450 and you're putting $50,000 into it, right? 15% is $75,000. Right. Now you're not going to net $75,000, obviously, right? Because there's closing costs, et cetera, et cetera. But it needs to make sense based on those numbers. 15%. I'm okay with walking away with $50,000.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Actually, let me rephrase that. Acquisition, renovation, and closing costs, right? So there are closing costs when you purchase the property, and there are closing costs when you sell the property. You need to also take into consideration commissions to a real estate agent.
Yeah, you
That's
need to
also
reverse
closing costs.
engineer everything.
Correct. So 450 plus 50, let's say that's including all, or let's make it more realistic, right? Let's say 400 plus 100, right? All closing costs and renovations, that's 500. 15% is 75,000. All right. So that way, if there is an issue, right, that you did not account for, the numbers are still going to make sense.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't make $75,000 net, and let's say you make $60,000 net, I think that most people are happy with that.
Yeah.
Right. And by the way,
agree.
when you're doing your scope of work, you have to add the 10% contingency. So I'll give you an example. Scope of work, SOW, you'll hear that acronym a lot. So, yeah. So when you're looking at your scope of work, say you come up with $55,000 of construction.
Yeah.
Right. Add 10% of that. That's 5,500 onto your budget.
Which
so
is
now
nothing.
So now it's, now it's 55 plus, 55 plus the 5,500, that's over $60,000. That's the number you want to use, right? And then also take in consideration your finance cost, right? Your taxes, holding costs, right? Which are your taxes and insurance. And be very careful how you finance these projects.
Yeah.
Make sure that you get reasonable financing. John, actually, our CEO of the company, he's doing an event on, June 14? I believe, June 14, ways on how to raise private capital. I think that is the best way to raise money for your projects. Private capital could be your Aunt Jerry, your Aunt Tiffany, your Uncle Jerry, who have $300,000 and they don't want to invest in real estate, but they want to lend money out. They want a nice return on their investment.
Yeah.
Right. You can borrow that money, pay them anywhere between on average 6.5% to 8.5%. Right. And in most cases, it makes a lot more sense to even pay them a little bit higher because you're not paying them points as you would a hard money lender where normally you'll pay anywhere between 2 to 4% on the loan amount, right? So you can justify paying Aunt Tiffany and Uncle Jerry a little bit more money,
Right.
or Uncle Mike. And I'm lending my money out right now. I can't find a flip, so I've lent out my money to 1, 2, 3 different people because
I'm about to be the fourth.
hope not. But the reason why I'm lending my money out is because I don't want it sitting in the bank making less than 1%. So now I saw an opportunity where I'm making on average of about 11 to 12%. That's a great rate of return on my money. And some of these loans are only for 3 or 4 months. They're easy. Only one I think is out for 12 months, and it's a lot loan. They're going to refinance one of their houses and then pay me back. But it's a great opportunity for you guys to obviously make money as a real estate agent, right? Plus, real estate agents have what?
Pulse on the market. But I think that, and as realtors, I think we come across those deals more often than
Of course
not,
you do.
you know? But yeah, so that's one. But I want to go back to the whole landlord thing. Why do you think that people don't want to be a landlord?
No, I'm not a
I mean,
landlord.
I know
can
that
tell you
people
why.
don't want. I know that there's a lot of people that don't,
Yeah.
but why? Why do you think that?
I think that people just don't want to get the phone call in the middle of the night that something broke. I think that people, look, for me, it just took a bad experience with a bunch of property. When I was 24, 25, I owned like over 10 two-family houses. And then when the market crashed back in 07, more than half of my tenants didn't want to pay me. So after that moment, I was like, I'm no longer going to purchase multifamily houses.
You did the
I'm
flip
going to
side.
flip.
Yeah.
Right. And what I did is I calculated what my cash flow was. And I'm like, all right, and for this to make sense in terms of flipping, I need to make the same amount of money, if not more. Well, I make a lot more money now flipping properties than I would owning, let's say, 40 doors.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because you're going to make more money on the flip
Yeah.
in a shorter amount of time.
And I also, like, for me, it's also deep rooted. I grew up Portuguese. My father was always against debt. So like today, I have no debt. Like, I have no mortgage on my primary. When I purchase properties, when I flip them, I have no mortgage. I pay them off in cash. So for me, it solves for that mindset thing that I have that's deep rooted from, me being young and from also, getting burned in 2007. That's okay. Now, if you want to buy multifamilies, I'm not against that. I think that's great. If you have the personality, if you have the right mindset, right? It's awesome. You can really, really build generational wealth owning a lot of properties,
Yeah.
right? In fact, you don't even have to own a lot of properties. I mean, I know people that own 600 plus units that are wealthy. And I know, guys out there and girls that own, 22 units, right? Now, 22 units might sound like it's a lot, but that's only 11 two-family houses. And if you purchased them and let's say 10 years ago, you're doing okay today.
Yeah.
You may not have to work. Right. And a lot of people are retiring off of less units. I know people that are retired with 10 units, 5 two-family houses. They're making enough cash flow that they're able to live the life that they want. $7,000, $8,000 a month. They're okay. That's the lifestyle that they chose. They don't have to go to work. They get up in the morning or choose not to get up in the morning and they do what they want to do. Right. So it depends on what your goal is in terms of your monthly cash flow. What do you want to make? Some
Right.
people could survive on $80,000 a year. And then there are people out there that need to make $300,000, $400,000 a year for them to have the lifestyle that they really want.
Yeah.
Right. So that depends on you. And it's not just being burned. It could be many things. It could be, it could be just their personality.
I think it's also a risk, right? Because if tenants don't pay, then what? You still have
Yeah.
more than likely you have a mortgage on that property, right? So if a tenant's not paying, now it's actually costing you money, right? So I think there's some fear associated with that because things are great when they're great, but when they're not great,
Correct.
they're not.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
But that's the beauty about real estate and real estate investing. There's many facets of it that you can get into. Like, for example, there's a lot of people now that they're like, I don't want to own a multifamily property. I want an investment property, but I want to make the same amount as I would if I owned 2 or 3 or 4 units, right? When I say units, I'm talking about, doors. So you could buy one property and it's a 3-family, that's 3 units. So for example, there are people buying properties where? Down the shore. And what are they doing?
They're Airbnb.
And they're making just as much, if not more.
Yeah.
In terms of cash flow, right? When you average it out for the year.
Right.
We have one of our agents, Eliani, she owns, I think 1, 2, 3 Airbnbs, if I'm not mistaken.
Just two. She just one in Poconos and one.
Oh, she sold the one in Orlando. That's right. So she's got the one in the Poconos and she has the one down in Toms River. And I think the one in Toms River, she's got the entire season already booked. I mean, she's charging as much as $1,000 a night.
Yeah.
You imagine making $1,000 a night? That's $31,000 or $30,000
Same with
a
Jackie.
month.
I mean, she brought her property not too
That's
long
right.
ago.
Yeah. And she's probably charging.
She's killing it.
What do you think she's charging?
I don't know.
It's gotta be
Actually, I should
close
just
to-
look. She sent me a copy of her.
It's got to be close to $1,000 a night over there too, because she's got a pretty big house there down
And it's
down on
brand
the
new
water.
construction.
Yeah. So if you're making $30,000 a month, right, for 3-4 months, that's $90,000 to $120,000 in cash flow for the year.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and that's not taking into consideration, off peak, right? People still rent houses down the shore.
Right.
September, October,
Yeah.
November. You could do short-term rentals,
And also, you get to enjoy it.
and you get to enjoy it. That's right.
So, yeah, but the idea is you shouldn't put your eggs all in one basket. There's many things that you can do, right? If you don't want to flip, then don't flip. If you don't want to be a landlord, don't be a landlord, right? Airbnb, there's options. You don't have to do just one thing. And I think that as agents, we take that for granted because we actually come across so many good opportunities.
What would you rather do?
I would rather flip, or I don't know. I have a 2-family, and my two family is very easy to maintain. I've been very lucky. We did obviously put a lot of money into it a couple years ago, but it's been great. But I would like an Airbnb, but only because I want to enjoy it myself. Like I want to buy a shore house and
Yeah.
Airbnb it, but it's also really for me.
Yeah.
Right. But I would like to flip. I that's been on my radar for a while.
How are you going to buy a house down the shore if you can't swim? Joe, do you know that she can't swim?
Listen, no.
I don't know another human being in this world who can't swim.
No. He's lying. He's partly lying. I can swim.
Yeah, on 6-inch water.
No. I can swim, but just don't throw me in the ocean because then I don't know how to swim. I panic.
Now, we threw you in a pool and you panicked.
Yeah, no. Sydney saved me, remember?
Okay, in a pool and she panicked.
Well, because I couldn't touch the floor.
So then there you go. Okay, so you have a fear of swimming when you can't touch the
I have
floor.
a fear. Yes,
All right.
exactly. But regardless, so I would say that flipping is next and shore house following. I don't want to buy a shore house right now because
I love flipping.
Yeah, I don't want to buy a shore house right now though because the rates are over 7% and it's a lot of money down there, so that can wait. I'd like to flip. I
Gotcha.
feel like I'm ready. For that.
let's talk about flipping. One of the biggest reasons I
and
love
one
flipping.
of our agents does a lot of them.
Oh,
Claudia.
yeah, and she's young too, right? She's like 24.
She's young. She's a rock star.
Yeah, I think she's already flipped like 3 or 4 properties this year.
I think she's doing her 4th one now.
Yeah, that's good for her. But why? Why flip?
Because it's easy. It's fast
Well,
money.
it's not easy money.
No,
and it's not fast money.
No.
Let's not
it's
say
not.
that.
It's fast money, Mike. Where else are you going to make 50 to 100,000 or whatever in 3 months?
Well, it's not always 3 months, but here are some of the
Okay,
advantages.
if you do it right, and that's why me personally was also scared to flip because I'm like, okay, like John and Michelle flip in 24 hours, but they obviously have all their ducks lined in a row.
Yeah,
they know what
they have
they're
the
doing,
infrastructure.
right? They have.
But that's an anomaly. That's
But
less
I think
than
that
0.01% that can do that.
I think that, all right, hang on to it for 5 months,
Mm-hmm.
call it. 2 months to get ready, right? If you have it all lined up and ready to go. Meaning you have your contractors lined up, you have your
Correct.
material lined up, you know exactly what you're doing. The day you close, you're ready to go, right?
Well, look, you don't have to deal with tenants. That's number one, right? You don't have to deal with the wear and tear. So that's one of the benefits of obviously flipping. Your rate of return is pretty high for the most part, right? Especially if you're flipping 2, 3 plus properties every year, right? Where else are you going to, like you said, where else are you going to make, let's say 15 to as much as 30, 35% rate of return on your money? Not in many cases, right? You can't do that in the stock market. I mean, you can if you know what you're really doing, but that's a very required skill set. And flipping properties, it's not easy. However, it's easy to get to, meaning it's easy to learn. It just takes one, you tweak it, and then you figure out how to
Exactly.
be able to be good at it.
And I feel like as agents, we know more about homes
Yeah.
and flipping and
You
all
know
that.
more about what buyers want in a house.
Exactly.
The kitchens, the bathrooms, certain styles, right? And look, and in some cases, especially in this type of market where it's a big seller's market, you can get away with skimping out a little bit. What I mean by that, you don't have to put high-end finishes in a property for it to sell for top dollar in today's market. That could change in the future, obviously, but that's great for a flipper,
Yeah.
right?
It also depends where, though.
Yes, of
If you're
course.
flipping,
Price point as well matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're flipping a $2 to $3 million home in Chatham, they
Right, it's
expect
different. Or
high-end
Livingston, right.
appliances. They don't
Exactly.
want to see a 30-inch stove, right? No, they want to see high-end finishes. They don't want to see Formica. They want to see
No,
They don't even
yeah,
want to, they want to see quartz or marble. They don't want to see what's it called? What was the slab that everybody used to use in the past?
oh, Corian?
No,
Like for countertops?
yes, before quartz. What was it?
Granite?
Granite. There you go. Yeah. That was like granite
What's
was
your
the
beef
thing.
with granite?
No, granite's not
Yeah,
in
what's your
anymore.
beef with granite?
It's not in anymore. It's quartz. you know?
Okay, but
And
I got
marble.
granite.
Yeah.
I like my granite.
Oh, your kitchen must be 20 years old now.
My kitchen is not 20 years old.
But that's, but anyway, you have to know what the trend is. You have to price yourself within the market, within
Yeah.
that price point. You can't price yourself. And you also, also in retrospect, you can't go too high end in certain price points and in certain areas. Like if you're in a 400 to 500 resale, you
Skip
can't.
the Viking stove.
Exactly. Don't put Thermador or Viking.
Right, skip
don't,
that.
Don't put 5-inch crown moldings everywhere, or 5-inch to 7-inch wide plank.
Don't put marble
engineered
down.
floors. Exactly. Right. You have to be very cognizant of
It's relative
pricing
to the
yourself
area.
out of the market.
Yeah, area and price point.
So those are the things that you need to consider.
But give the people
sure.
what they want.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I'm interested in the lending aspect right now. Like I love it a lot. I might stop flipping, period. Unless it's an unbelievable deal.
Just lend your
I'm
money.
falling
Somebody
in
we
love with
know-
just lending my money.
Yeah, somebody we know just posted something about if we were interested in lending money, to let them know. I don't remember who that
Oh,
was.
let me know. But I like it because it takes me literally seconds for me to underwrite the deal. What's the loan to value? I don't care about the person's, their credit score.
So now what, you hold the first lien?
I'm only in first position. I do not lend in second position. I would never do that. It has to be first position. And I don't allow subordinate financing, meaning like
What
if
is
I'm
that?
a junior lien, if I'm in first position, let's say 3 months later, let's say I lent you money and 3 months later you want to get a second mortgage against the property, I don't allow it
Why?
because that's a bigger risk to me. That means there's less equity now. If I have to foreclose on you, now I have a second lien that I have to negotiate with. I don't want to go through all that obstacle. Nope, it's first position and only position only. And again, when I lend money, it's short term. It's not a 30-year mortgage.
How
right?
long is it? Oh,
It's
you
12,
said
it's
12 months. Or,
and usually I will give an extension for 6 months.
how do people really need loans for 12? Oh,
If they're flipping,
Oh, because they're going to flip.
most of the people that I've lent money to, they're flipping properties except for the lot. The lot, they're going to be building
Who'd
their
you lend
primary,
to?
a client of one of our agents, but they're going to be building like a 5,500 square foot home.
Where?
And in Warren, and there's 7 other lots next to it that were sold for between 650 to 750, and I lent out 200,000, right? So my loan to value is very low. So even if they stop paying, I have a deed in lieu. So what that means, deed in lieu, basically is, in layman's terms, instead of me foreclosing you, you're going to sign over the deed to me. So in 12 months, if you don't pay me, I have the deed to the property. Now I have a $700,000 asset, okay, for 200,000.
Yeah.
I could turn around and sell it for 5.
Yeah.
Fire sale
Smart.
it. Or even if the market came down 20%, right? Let's say now it's worth $140,000 less. So that's 560,000. I'm still safe,
Right.
right? So that's why I like the lending aspect of it. And you have to pay me.
Even me?
Everybody. For you, I'm charging you 25% interest rate.
Yeah, okay.
But look, let's go back to real estate agents, right? Real estate agents and getting involved in real estate investing. It's a great way to build wealth for them. It's a great way for them to also minimize their tax obligations, right? Especially utilizing real estate depreciation when you're purchasing a multifamily house or investment property. I think that's a great tax benefit for them and they should be using it. If they want to flip properties, I think that's also a great avenue as well, because it's going to add to your earned income, right? So if you're making $150,000 to $200,000 as a real estate agent, and you can make an additional $100,000 by flipping properties, put that money aside, obviously pay your taxes on it, but put that money aside. And eventually when you find a good deal, multifamily property, go ahead and invest in it. Take some of that money and invest in multifamily properties. And that's what Claudia does, by the way. Claudia, the reason why Claudia is flipping is because she wants to keep on adding more homes to her portfolio. So what she does, which I think is brilliant and probably the best way to do it, is she flips, she takes that money, she takes some of that money, then she goes out and buys a multifamily. Continues to flip, takes that money, continues to buy more multifamily property. That is how you become rich as a real estate agent. That's exactly how you become rich, right? And if you continue to do that for 5 to 10 years, right, by that time you own 30, 40, 50 plus units, you've made a lot of money, you've bought down a lot of the principal because you're putting 25%, 30% down because you're using a lot of the money that from the flipping. And obviously it's their investment properties, you need to put, on average 25% down anyway. Before you know it, at that age, she's 24. By the time she's 34, 35, 40, she probably has most of these properties almost paid off, and it's going to increase her cash flow. Or she can refinance, take some money out, and keep on investing if she wanted to. But I think that's the most ideal way that real estate agents should look at real estate investing, right? And let's face it, nobody wants to be a real estate agent for 30 years, right? Not you, not me. It gets to a point where you want to move on to the next chapter in your life. And I think that real estate investing is something that is sexy. I think a lot of real estate agents are passionate about it, right? Because it's an investment vehicle for them to get to where they want to get.
Agreed.
Oh, you're speaking so much today, right? So vocal. Agreed.
No.
Why do you, tell me, why do you want to flip? What's your reasoning for flipping, other than the obvious, to make money?
I think it's actually kind of fun to transform the property.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I think
Walk me through it.
What do you mean? Walk me through what?
What's fun about it? Transforming.
To see the before and after.
Mm-hmm.
If you were
or putting your vision, creating this vision and making that reality.
Yeah. Well, not only that. Okay, look, if you were 300 pounds.
Don't look at my camera. Look at that camera.
Hi. If you were 300 pounds, right, and you took a picture, and then you lost 150 pounds and you took an after picture, wouldn't that excite you?
Of course.
Exactly. So it's the same concept. You look at a house, it looks like crap.
So you're saying that.
And then you revitalize it, and now it looks beautiful.
So you're saying that, in terms of valuing, the work that you put into the property to, obviously change it aesthetically.
Yes.
And knowing that you're putting a good product on the market.
Exactly. Yes. And I think it's fun. The design aspect of it is fun.
I love it. Yeah. I used to love it a lot. I still do, but.
So, I mean, that's why I want to do it.
So what's stopping you from getting your first flip?
I am not actively searching at this current moment. But
what do we do? What do we do to change that?
I have to look.
I know, but it's not that. What are you going to schedule it on your calendar to look? And if you are going to look, how are you going to look? What are you going to do to look?
I guess you can look at sheriff sales.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Drive around, look for distressed properties.
Dollars, yeah.
But I feel like
code violations,
few and far between.
Oh, here you go. I hear that all the time. I was having a conversation with Nick yesterday. Same thing. How long are you looking, Nick?
I'm sorry,
I'm
who's
not.
Nick?
You know who Nick is. How long are you look? I'm not. Well, that's why it's not hard if you're allocating time.
Just the other day we were driving.
If you're allocating time, right, and you're allocating some money, marketing, you're going to find them. There was a reason why I was able to flip, I think 4 or 5 last year, and I didn't allocate any time. So if I'm not putting time into it and I'm finding them, imagine if I did. So if you put time, let's say 5 to 6 hours a week, which is nothing, you're going to find a transaction. It's like a real estate agent. If you put in time in prospecting, you're going to find a listing, right? Or a homeowner that's willing to list. It's the same exact concept, right? Same thing with the gym. If you put in time at the gym, you're going to lose weight.
Yeah.
It's just getting there, finding the time.
Yeah, I think that's
not finding the time, prioritizing it.
Yeah, no, that's.
So let's set a goal right now.
What, you want me to drive for dollars?
What's today? Today is basically June 1st, right? It's May 31st, but say it's June 1st. So by August 1st, that's 2 months, you have to find your first flip.
Okay. Ow.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes I forget that you're not a man. June 1st.
August 1st.
I mean, sorry, August 1st.
All right.
So what are you going to
I'm
do?
going to drive for dollars.
And what else?
I'm not going to go to sheriff's sale. I'll tell you right now, I'm not doing
So you have hubzooauction.com. You have sheriff sales, right? I know you don't want to do it, but you could take the data from sheriff sales and you can
Send a letter, call
you can potentially contact the homeowner.
directly.
You could potentially contact the homeowner. If there's enough equity in the property, you may be able to strike a deal with them.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
else? Code violations.
What do you mean by code violations?
Yep. There are people out there that have done work to their property, didn't take permits, they have violations against their property. Tax liens.
We did one of those.
Tax liens, property tax liens, IRS liens. What else? Probate, estates.
Right. Oh, yeah. There's plenty of things you can do.
Oh yeah.
I think what
There's
I'm going to
plenty of things
do.
I could do, but I don't do it, Mike.
I know. I'm going to do the probate. And I'm going to stick to the probate, and I'm going to stick to driving for dollars. And maybe I'll look at the sheriff's sale list and send them a letter directly or call them directly. I don't have to do them all, right? That's not the way to go. I hate to say it.
No, you're right.
Like, if there's 33
If you have the budget to be able to explore all options, then yeah,
no,
that is the way
but
to
I'm
go.
saying, okay, but, time is limited, right? So I'm not going to do all 10 things that you just mentioned. I'm going to pick 3.
Yeah, you can only do all 10 if you have the infrastructure, and
And I don't.
infrastructure costs money.
Unless you want to work for me.
No, never. Not going to happen. I'd rather watch paint dry.
All right, fine. So from June 1st to August 1st.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
have
I'm
2
working on.
months. You hear that, Joe? Yeah. 2 months. I'm putting it on my calendar.
All right, 2 months.
I have
Deal.
a bet that she's not going to do it.
Are you kidding?
She's going to disappoint us, Joe.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that what you think of me?
No.
Get out.
I think this is my podcast. I think
Is
you
that
need to
what
get
you
out.
think of me?
No. All right. I'm pulling for you rather. All right. Good stuff. I think that's it. All right. I think we covered a lot.
I think that's it, yeah.
You think that's it? I just told you it's it.
God.
There's not much thinking on your end, so
Mike, do you have to always be insulting?
no. All right, Agents Rock. If you like this podcast, go to YouTube and Spotify and subscribe.